your dreams trying to tell you something? Author M.B. Mosley teaches you how to decode your dreams and take hold of the manifestations that lay in wait for you in the waking realm. Now, broadcasting all over the world, it's the Dream Interpretation Podcast.
Welcome, family. Please be reminded that all dreams are not a one-size-fits-all, and that each dream may be similar, but is contingent upon each individual's waking life. I conduct dream interpretations based upon my waking life as it pertains to my journey here on earth. As for the requests that are emailed to me, I do a general interpretation as I do not know the individual's spiritual and personal waking life. I am so excited. Welcome to ZIP, baby, ZIP. ZIP, baby, ZIP. That's DZIP, the Dream Zone Interpretation Podcast. Share this podcast with your loved ones, guys. I'm so excited to continually teach you all on how to do dream interpretations. I want to hear about it. You can email me at askmemory2019@gmail.com. And we are also dropping new episodes every other Wednesdays as we acclimate into this podcast. And the further out we go in the podcast, we're hoping to drop more episodes, and we're hoping to hear from your requests as well. I'm excited for that. So let's get right into it, folks. Drum roll, please. Grab your pens and paper, and 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. ZIP, baby, ZIP, DZIP. Welcome back, tribe. Welcome back, DZIP tribe, the ZIP Tribe Dream Zone Interpretation Podcast. I am your host and author and sister friend, M.B. Mosley and or Memory Bengessa Mosley. You all, I'm so excited as this podcast grows, and I want to say deeply from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful for you all. And I thank you so much for downloading the podcast. Continue to share the podcast. All right, today we are talking about the tornado dream. And housekeeping rules, no, just kidding. Let's say announcements. So I've created a dream interpretation sheet. You all, it's still a work in progress, but I wanted us to have some kind of template as we dissect, and I would say dissect, as we decode these dreams. So you can find that template at my website, www.memory, MEMORY, Bengessa, BENGES as in Sam, .org. And you could find this under the blog post. So you can have a template, but take into consideration, it is a work in progress. I'm going to add more information on there. And I figured this way we can have our uniform template, teaching you how to decode the dreams. So let's get into it. And so we have the dream of a tornado. If you've ever had a dream of seeing a tornado, I know I've had a few. I've had about 3 or 4. I know that I had the one experience that I'm going to share with you here, but you know what's weird is, because now I'm thinking about the other ones, because I remember seeing tornadoes, and I had one a few months ago, really. That one was interesting. We were like running for shelter, and I had a group of people I'd never met before, and they're like, let's go into the basement. And it looked like a church building, and we stormed into this building, but it didn't have a basement. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. Let's talk about the dream interpretation of a tornado. So now if we follow the template for dream interpretation sheet, now remember that dream interpretation is not a one size fits all, but we can definitely take the keywords and themes here, which can be consistent across the board, because what I'm talking about is like when you look at a thing such as a tornado. Now, a tornado in our waking lives is what? It could be chaotic, destructive, right? Like anytime you get a tornado warning and or a tornado goes through a town, it's never good news. Right? It's never good news. And it can also represent fear, right? When we get the tornado warnings, people have to seek shelter, cover up. There's fear going through, anxiety about the tornado. So it's never really a good thing. And that's one thing you can definitely pen down to pen, understanding that tornadoes typically don't represent something super positive, however, depending on the dream itself, right, we can decode on the next information that does come around that specific dream. So the next question to ask oneself is, what type of energy are you feeling the instant you wake up? Right? Now, on this particular tornado dream, I was feeling peace. And I woke up with tears streaming down my cheeks. That was the first, and that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this dream, because that was my first dream in my whole entire life of existence, where I woke up, but within the dream still in crying. However, I was feeling peace, but tears were streaming down my cheeks. Now, let's go to the next question here as we continue to decode. What type of energy are you feeling in the dream itself? In that dream itself, I was feeling peace. All right, so there's a section on here where what are your cultural and or spiritual beliefs behind the dream? Because most times also I believe that also helps you understand a little bit more about your dream and helps you to decode the dreams. In this particular situation, I didn't have, I put an A. So let's go to the next question. List everything you see in the dream. All right. So in this particular dream, I remember being in like it was like real small, dingy room. I was the only person in there. And what's weird about that room, it felt like it was mobile, like it was moving. I don't know. It was just weird. And it had a really small window. And where I saw the tornado was huge, right? Huge. And it was approaching. I saw it from the small little window that was, when I sat down, it was at the top of my head. And I remember sitting down on this, it was like a hard bench, and I was hugging my legs with my chin buried into my knees, rocking back and forth, but I didn't feel anxious or I wasn't scared. I felt like peace. And I remember when I woke up that same from that same dream, don't you hate it when look, I'm not a singer, but like when you get lyrics and you're singing a song and then you're in the dream, it's just like a beautiful song, and you wake up and you're like, oh crap, can't remember the lyrics. I cannot stand that, because the song is just like, oh my gosh, that was a really good song, And so I'm singing a song and I'm rocking back and forth, and it's as if I'm anticipating the tornado hitting the room. That's what it felt like. But it's as if I was in this overwhelming sense of peace. It was weird. Like, it was just so calm in that room. And all right, so the next question is, where are you in the dream, and or what are you doing? So we already described that I was in the room, hugging the legs, resting, my chin on the knees, singing a song in an overwhelming state of peace. Now, we want to know, as we decode the dream, colors and numbers also play a part, right, to decode the dream. So we want to know, what colors and or numbers do you see in the dream, if any? So the room is an off-white. It's like cream. And I put it at a creamish color. So let's start off. We got the points down. Now let's start off to decode the dream. Now understand, when you're decoding the dream, you're decoding it according to your waking life. We're getting messages from the spiritual dream realm. Say that fast. From the spiritual dream realm. And so now we want to decode this as it pertains to our waking life. What is the message we say? And so now understand that because I'm in a creamish room, I want to know what the color cream represents. So when you look for the representation or the symbolization of the color cream, it can mean that you are always cheerful and you don't like losing. You are a trustworthy and or outgoing person. So that's parts of the, and sometimes when you look at color symbolisms and or number symbolism, sometimes you may get more than one, right? And suffice it to say, with awareness, you are decoding according to your waking life, honoring yourself, right? We're not going to pick. Here's the beautiful thing about decoding. Like, I've always seen this often. The color pink, okay, could have 5-6 meanings. How does it pertain to you in your waking life, right? So now then you decode it according to you as it pertains to your waking life. So now the last part is we're going to take all those points that we put together of decoding the pieces of our dream. And then we want to write everything we listed above. And we want to put it either into a sentence, a paragraph, and we want to make sure it's as it pertains to our current waking life. So, alrighty. And so I put all my points down into a paragraph. And this is what I wrote from all the information that has been decoded above. At the time in my waking life, there was a lot going on in the background. My life almost seemed chaotic. It did. Oh my gosh. There was so much going on. There was I was contemplating moving and relocating, and because I was having issues with the bank. So long story short story longer. It was a point in time, I talked about my dream home at 25, lived in it for about 5 years. And this was right on the cusp of 2008, 2007. And so the mortgage company I was with, you cannot make this stuff up, but the mortgage company I was with, great loan, everything was, que sera. All of a sudden, they went gray rock on me, right? So I used to send out cashier's checks for payments for my mortgage. And so, because then they used to they used to send statements before we were doing all this online bill paying and stuff. And so I hadn't been getting my statements. And when I look back in hindsight, I'm not even thinking, I didn't even call. I'd had the statement and my statement account, so I would send out my cashier's checks. And unbeknownst to me, it was about 2 months later, I got a envelope that had both of my cashier's checks, right? And so the envelope had no company logo, anything. It was just a manila envelope. And I opened the manila envelope. I saw that my cashier's checks had been returned, and it had just a generic letter like, this is not the balance that's due on your account. And I'm like, excuse me? I know the devil is a liar. This is the balance that's been due. And in my mind, I was so annoyed because I'm like, why are these people sending me back these cashier's checks? Because it's like, y'all should have had them. So what happened was I ended up calling the number on the letter. My mortgage company, Countrywide, I'm put you out there because, yeah. Okay. So my mortgage company had sold my mortgage, my loan to B of A. Let's just put initials here. B of A. And so I'm like, and I banked with B of A back in the day. And my theory about B of A is always been, that's why it's initials, because I'm not trying to knock anybody's bank like that. But I've just want to say it's a great bank if you are a business. I just didn't care for it as an individual. But anyway, and let alone for my mortgage. Hello. Of course. And so now I'm like, excuse me, when I call the number, what do you mean? So they're like, yeah, your mortgage payments are actually, they were like $5,000 a month. I'm like, what? Listen, my mortgage payments were like $850. Okay, $850 a month. What do you mean? What is going on? And with Countrywide, I had a nice laid out 40-year, fixed agreement. So I thought, but it was on paper. So it was just a whole mess. That's when the nightmare started for me. Anyways. So now when I sit back, when I had this dream in this moment, I'm dealing with going back and forth with the bank, trying to figure out what's going on, writing letters to my local DA. I'm just feeling like, what in the world is going on? And so now when I continued to decode, the small room felt like a safe space because I felt so much peace. It was an overwhelming amount of peace. And it says here, I was at peace, even though I had seen the tornado heading my way. And I was singing a song as I rocked back and forth. And when I woke up, I had tears streaming down my cheek. All right. So this is me writing the paragraph and everything that I've put from above. And I did state on here, looking back in hindsight, I realized that it was a message of comfort. The color cream's meaning supports my personality, and also another message to continue on and not to feel defeated. So you see why it's so important to get at every corner and aspect of the dream symbolisms, color symbolisms, number symbolisms, and understanding. So that was decoding a tornado. Now understand, once again, when you're sitting there decoding your dreams of tornadoes, what is going to be true to concept is most times the theme, tornadoes, okay? I don't know too many times that a tornado is going to be coming to town on a positive note. But in this case here, we're seeing a point where the tornado is something that is chaotic, destructive, and could be a warning to one's life that perhaps maybe the company you keep may be a destructive company, or the path you're going down on may be a destructive path. However, just take into consideration all the elements that are around it. In this example of this dream, the tornado, though being a theme of known chaos and destruction, it was also a affirmation of comfort, an affirmation of comfort behind the chaos and destruction happening out and around me. I love you guys that much, and remember, you can get a copy of the dream interpretation sheet. I have it at the blog post at www.memorybengesa.org. And it's .org because, guys, long story short, short story longer. I know it's like that. Listen. Okay, so I had memorybengesa.com forever, right? And you know how it is. You switch out your cards and everything that's on auto pay, got it, so, but my website is like yearly payments or whatever. And so, and they don't even like hackle you or look for you, and so my domain name expired. And I'm sitting up there because, every now and then we check, my blog spots, my websites and so forth. And then I had gone to check and I was like, that's not my website, memorybengesa.com. And so when I went into my website settings, I realized that, I had to update my payment method. And by the time I did that, I could not get in I was so sad. I'd had that domain name forever. Okay. Forever. So now I'm like, okay, I just want something, just one, like Memory Bengesa. But .org was the next thing, but I should go try and take a peek because they were trying to sell it back to me for like a whole bunch of money. Like, you want this domain? Do you really want this domain? I was like, yeah, I do, but I'm not going to pay you $15,000 for my name. And that's what was weird about it, and I get it. There's things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know. I'm not so computer savvy. It might not necessarily be the domain name once you get it and whatever. They just wanted the traffic on that. But it's okay, though. I'll rock with .org for now until I can figure it out. Love you guys that much. The copy of the dream interpretation sheet is at www.memorybengesa.org under the blog post. And remember, we're continually improving that sheet. Stay blessed.
For God speaks in one way and or in two. Though man does not perceive it, He speaks in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber on their beds. Happy dreaming.